Marcus Thompson was staring at the CT scan images on Dr. Richard Hartwell's computer screen, but the black and white shadows meant nothing to him. What did it mean? Something were the words coming out of the oncologist's mouth. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Metastasized to the liver and lungs. I'm sorry, Marcus, but you have maybe 6 months. Possibly less. Marcus felt like he'd been punched in the chest. 6 months. Dr. Hartwell's expression was cold, clinical. Pancreatic cancer is extremely aggressive. At this stage, there's really nothing we can do except make you comfortable. What about chemotherapy? Radiation? Surgery? At this stage, those treatments would only make you sicker without extending your life meaningfully. I recommend you focus on quality time with your family and getting your affairs in order. Marcus looked at his wife, Jennifer, who was crying silently in the chair beside him. He thought about his children, Emma, age 8, and Jake, age 6. There has to be something. Clinical trials? Experimental treatments? Dr. Hartwell shook his head. Mr. Thompson, I've been treating cancer for 20 years. I've seen cases like yours hundreds of times. The best thing you can do is accept the diagnosis and make peace with your situation. I'm 34 years old. My kids need their father. I understand this is difficult, but false hope will only make things worse for your family. Marcus left that appointment feeling like his world had ended. But what Marcus didn't know was that Dr. Hartwell was lying. There were treatments. There were clinical trials. There were experimental therapies showing promising results. Dr. Hartwell was deliberately withholding life-saving information from Marcus and hundreds of other patients. And the reason why it would shock you, this is a story of how one man's refusal to accept a death sentence exposed one of the biggest medical scandals in modern history. If this story truly touches your heart, let's speak for you. Like this video, subscribe to be part of our journey, and share your feelings in the comments. Marcus spent the first week after his diagnosis in a fog of despair. He tried to act normal around Emma and Jake, but Jennifer could see him breaking apart. We need to tell the kids, Jennifer said one evening. Not yet. I need to figure out what we're going to do first. Marcus, the doctor said dash. The doctor said 6 months. But I'm not dead yet. That night, Marcus began what would become the most important research project of his life. He started with basic internet searches about pancreatic cancer survival rates. What he found was grim. 5-year survival rate, less than 5%. Median survival after stage 4 diagnosis, 4 to 6 months. But Marcus also found something else. Stories of survivors. People who had beaten pancreatic cancer against impossible odds. People who had lived years beyond their original prognosis. Marcus began reaching out to these survivors through online forums and support groups. What they told him changed everything. Have you looked into immunotherapy trials? Asked David Chun, a 5-year survivor from California. What's immunotherapy? It's a new type of treatment that helps your immune system fight cancer cells. There are clinical trials happening all over the country. My doctor said there were no trials available. That's impossible. I can send you links to at least 20 trials accepting pancreatic cancer patients right now. Marcus was confused. Why would Dr. Hartwell tell him there were no trials when survivors were telling him about multiple options? Another survivor, Maria Santos from Texas, shared her story. My first oncologist told me to go home and die. Said there was nothing they could do. I got a second opinion and found a doctor who got me into a combination therapy trial. That was 3 years ago. What kind of combination therapy? Immunotherapy plus targeted chemotherapy plus radiation. It's not available everywhere, but it's showing incredible results for pancreatic cancer. Marcus asked a crucial question. Why did my doctor tell me about this? Maria's answer was disturbing. Because some doctors are more interested in following standard protocols than saving lives. You need to find a doctor who actually fights for patients. Marcus began compiling a list of every clinical trial, experimental treatment, and alternative therapy mentioned by survivors. Within 2 weeks, he had identified 47 potential treatment options that Dr. Hartwell had never mentioned. Marcus printed out everything and made an appointment to confront Dr. Hartwell. Marcus walked into Dr. Hartwell's office with a thick folder of research. Doctor, I've been doing some research about treatment options. Dr. Hartwell looked annoyed. Mr. Thompson, I told you that internet research would only give you false hope. I found 47 clinical trials currently accepting stage 4 pancreatic cancer patients. You said there were no trials available. Marcus spread the printed pages across Dr. Hartwell's desk. Dr. Hartwell barely glanced at the papers. These are experimental treatments with minimal success rates. I don't recommend wasting your remaining time on false promises. But some of these trials are showing 30 to 40% survival rates beyond 2 years. Those numbers are misleading. The patients in those trials were probably healthier than you are. Marcus felt his anger rising. Shouldn't that be my decision to make? As your doctor, it's my responsibility to guide you toward realistic expectations. I want referrals to participate in these trials. Dr. Hartwell's expression hardened. I won't be party to giving you false hope. If you want to chase miracle cures, you'll have to find another oncologist. Fine, I will. Marcus left Dr. Hartwell's office more determined than ever, but he also left with a growing suspicion that something wasn't right about Dr. Hartwell's refusal to even consider alternative treatments. Marcus began researching Dr. Hartwell himself. What he found was shocking. Dr. Hartwell was a paid consultant for Oncotech Pharmaceuticals, a company that manufactured traditional chemotherapy drugs. Dr. Hartwell received $200,000 annually in consulting fees from Oncotech. Oncotech's profits depended on patients using their expensive traditional treatments rather than experimental alternatives. Marcus realized that Dr. Hartwell had a financial incentive to discourage patients from seeking experimental treatments. But Marcus didn't know how deep the corruption went until he started investigating other oncologists in the city. Marcus found a new oncologist, Dr. Sarah Kim, who specialized in experimental cancer treatments. Dr. Kim's first words to Marcus were completely different from Dr. Hartwell's approach. Marcus, you're young and strong. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer is serious, but it's not automatically a death sentence. We have options. My previous doctor said there was nothing that could help. Who was your previous doctor? Dr. Richard Hartwell. Dr. Kim's expression changed. I see. Well, Dr. Hartwell and I have different philosophies about cancer treatment. What do you mean? Dr. Hartwell believes in following standard protocols and managing expectations. I believe in fighting with everything available. Dr. Kim reviewed Marcus's case and immediately identified 3 clinical trials he qualified for. This immunotherapy trial at Johns Hopkins has shown remarkable results. This combination therapy at MD Anderson is specifically designed for cases like yours. And this targeted therapy trial here in the city could be an option if the others don't work. Marcus was amazed. Why didn't Dr. Hartwell mention any of these? You'd have to ask him that question. But Dr. Kim's next comment made Marcus realize the scope of the problem. Marcus, I have to tell you something. You're not the first patient who's come to me after Dr. Hartwell told them there were no options. In the past year, I've seen at least 30 patients who were given similar advice by Dr. Hartwell and other doctors in the city. What happened to those patients? The ones who found me early enough? About half are still alive and doing well in various trials. The ones who accepted Dr. Hartwell's advice and didn't seek second opinions. Dr. Kim paused. Most of them died within the timeline Dr. Hartwell predicted. Marcus felt sick. Are you saying Dr. Hartwell let people die who could have been saved? I'm saying that some doctors are more committed to following established protocols than exploring new possibilities. Marcus began his treatment with Dr. Kim immediately, but he also began investigating how many other patients had been given similar death sentences by Dr. Hartwell. What he discovered was a systematic pattern of medical neglect that had killed dozens of people. Marcus started the immunotherapy trial at Johns Hopkins while simultaneously building a case against Dr. Hartwell. The treatment was tough. Marcus experienced fatigue, nausea, and weakness. But his scans after 3 months showed something miraculous. The tumors were shrinking. While Marcus fought for his life, Jennifer helped him investigate Dr. Hartwell's other patients. They obtained public death records and cross-referenced them with Dr. Hartwell's patient list. In the past 3 years, Dr. Hartwell had treated 127 stage 4 cancer patients. 124 of them had died within their predicted timelines. Only 3 had sought second opinions and found alternative treatments. Marcus and Jennifer started contacting the families of deceased patients. The stories they heard were heartbreaking and infuriating. "My husband asked Dr. Hartwell about clinical trials," said widow Margaret Foster. "Dr. Hartwell said they were a waste of time. My husband died 4 months later. I found out after his death that there was a trial at the university that was showing great results for his type of cancer. My daughter was only 29, cried Robert Martinez. She wanted to fight. She begged Dr. Hartwell for more options. He told her to accept her fate and spend time with her family. She died believing there was nothing that could have saved her. Marcus discovered that Dr. Hartwell wasn't just receiving consulting fees from Oncotech Pharmaceuticals. He was also receiving bonuses based on how many patients used Oncotech's traditional chemotherapy drugs. Patients who enrolled in clinical trials or sought experimental treatments didn't generate revenue for Oncotech. Dr. Hartwell had a financial incentive to discourage patients from pursuing alternative treatments. But the corruption went deeper than one doctor. Marcus found evidence that 5 other oncologists in the city had similar financial relationships with pharmaceutical companies. They were all systematically discouraging patients from seeking experimental treatments. Marcus realized he was looking at a coordinated conspiracy that was killing cancer patients for profit. After 6 months of treatment, Marcus's scans showed continued improvement. The tumors were 70% smaller than at diagnosis. Dr. Hartwell's 6-month death sentence had come and gone. Marcus was not only alive, he was getting better. Marcus decided it was time to go public with his investigation. He contacted investigative journalist Lisa Chun from the local news station. "Lisa, I have evidence of systematic medical malpractice that's killed dozens of cancer patients." Lisa was initially skeptical, but when Marcus showed her the documented evidence, she realized this was the biggest medical scandal in the city's history. Lisa's investigation confirmed everything Marcus had discovered. Dr. Hartwell and 5 other oncologists had received over $3 million in payments from pharmaceutical companies over 5 years. These doctors had consistently discouraged patients from seeking experimental treatments that might have saved their lives. The story aired on a Thursday night. Cancer patients denied life-saving treatments for profit. Local oncologists accused of medical malpractice. The story featured Marcus's interview. "Dr. Hartwell told me I had 6 months to live, and there was nothing that could help me. 8 months later, I'm cancer-free thanks to an experimental treatment he never mentioned. How many people died because they trusted him?" The story also included interviews with families of patients who had died after being discouraged from seeking alternative treatments. The public reaction was immediate and furious. The state medical board announced an investigation within 24 hours. 3 major pharmaceutical companies suspended their consulting relationships with the implicated doctors. The hospital where Dr. Hartwell worked placed him on administrative leave pending investigation. But Marcus wasn't done fighting. Marcus filed a lawsuit against Dr. Hartwell, Oncotech Pharmaceuticals, and the hospital. The lawsuit alleged medical malpractice, conspiracy to deny treatment, and wrongful endangerment. Marcus also helped families of deceased patients file wrongful death lawsuits. The legal discovery process revealed even more damaging evidence. Internal emails from Oncotech showed that the company knew about successful experimental treatments, but instructed their consulting doctors not to mention them to patients. "Our market share depends on maintaining traditional treatment protocols," read one email from an Oncotech executive. "Doctors who refer too many patients to clinical trials should have their consulting contracts reviewed." Dr. Hartwell's patient notes showed a pattern of deliberately discouraging patients from seeking second opinions. In Marcus's own file, Dr. Hartwell had written, "Patient expressing unrealistic hope for alternative treatments. Reinforced terminal nature of diagnosis. Advise against wasting time on experimental protocols." The trial was a media sensation. Marcus testified about Dr. Hartwell's refusal to mention available treatments. Families of deceased patients testified about their loved ones being discouraged from fighting their cancer. Dr. Kim testified about the successful outcomes she'd achieved with patients who had been given up on by other doctors. The jury deliberated for less than 4 hours. They found Dr. Hartwell guilty of medical malpractice and awarded Marcus $5 million in damages. The wrongful death lawsuits resulted in $47 million in total awards to affected families. Dr. Hartwell lost his medical license. 3 other doctors involved in conspiracy also lost their licenses. Oncotech Pharmaceuticals paid $200 million in settlements and agreed to end their consulting program with oncologists. But Marcus's victory was about more than money or revenge. If you made it all the way here, it means this story truly held you. So don't leave without showing some love. Hit like, subscribe to stay with us, and drop a comment. I'll be here, reading every word you share. 5 years after Dr. Hartwell told Marcus he had 6 months to live, Marcus was completely cancer-free. His experimental treatment had not only saved his life, it had contributed to research that was now helping thousands of other cancer patients. But Marcus's impact went far beyond his own survival. The scandal he exposed led to major reforms in cancer treatment protocols. Hospitals were required to inform patients about all available treatment options, including experimental trials. Pharmaceutical companies were banned from providing financial incentives to doctors based on treatment choices. A new patient advocacy program was established to help cancer patients navigate treatment options independently. Marcus used his settlement money to establish the Thompson Foundation for Cancer Patient Advocacy. The foundation provides free second opinion services and helps patients access clinical trials and experimental treatments. In 5 years, the Thompson Foundation has helped over 3,000 cancer patients access treatments that their original doctors didn't mention. The foundation's survival rate statistics are remarkable. 67% of their clients are still alive beyond their original prognosis. Marcus estimates that his fight has saved hundreds of lives. Dr. Hartwell, meanwhile, is working as a pharmaceutical sales representative. He never admitted wrongdoing and never apologized to families affected by his actions. Marcus tried to contact Dr. Hartwell once, 3 years after the trial. "I wanted him to know that I wasn't angry anymore," Marcus told Jennifer. "I just wanted him to understand that patients deserve hope, not just acceptance of death." Dr. Hartwell never responded to Marcus's message. Today, Marcus is 39 years old. His children, Emma and Jake, are now 13 and 11, thriving in school and completely healthy. Marcus returned to his engineering career, but also serves on the board of 3 cancer research organizations. He speaks regularly at medical conferences about the importance of patient advocacy and hope in cancer treatment. Marcus's message is always the same. When a doctor tells you there's nothing that can be done, get a second opinion. When they tell you to give up hope, fight harder. When they tell you to accept death, choose to live. My doctor gave me 6 months to live 5 years ago. I'm here today not because I was lucky, but because I refuse to accept that diagnosis as final. Every cancer patient deserves to know about every possible treatment option. No doctor should play God with someone else's life. Marcus Thompson was supposed to die in 2019. Instead, he exposed a medical conspiracy that was killing cancer patients for profit. He not only saved his own life, he saved hundreds of others. And he proved that sometimes the most important fight is the one everyone tells you can't win. Because hope, Marcus learned, is the most powerful medicine of all, even when the doctors try to take it away.